Hi guys, so today I'm back with a new video that I'm really excited for. It's actually a tag, a Shadowhunters related tag that I thought of as I was falling to sleep. I'm pretty sure this is an original tag. I searched around on YouTube and I haven't seen anybody doing it, but there's a chance that maybe somebody did it on a blog or something, or maybe I'm just not good at looking. So if somebody has already done this, let me know, but I'm going to call this the original tag, and that is the Bane Chronicles versus Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy versus Ghost of the Shadow Market tag. So this is kind of similar to the tag TMI versus TID versus TDA, but with the short story bind-ups that are in between each of the main series. Starting off with our first question, best leading guy. So this was like the hardest question, which is why I put it first, because I kind of just wanted to get it out of the way. And my answer almost surprises me, honestly, but I just remember in my reread of this book, literally my Goodreads review was just like, Simon is my favorite character. So I'm going with Simon. So that's 1.2 Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. I love Jem and Magnus so much. I feel like Magnus is like everybody's favorite character, and Jem is like almost too perfect to be real, but there's just something about Simon that is really relatable, and I just think he's such a good person, like just at heart. Like he's just the most solid guy. So I'm going with Simon. My next question is best favorite story. So what this means is pick your favorite story from each of the bind-ups and then compare the three of them. So my favorite short story from the Bane Chronicles is Saving Rafael Santiago. Obviously, I don't want this video to be spoilery, but like, that's the best one. My favorite from Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy is The Evil We Love. That one is like really sad and kind of dark, but it does a lot of like backstory for future books, and it hits me right in the heart. So that one. And then from Ghost of the Shadow Market, it is actually Forever Fallen, which is the last story, I believe. Yes, and while it might not have been, I don't know, I honestly loved a lot of the stories in here. It was hard for me to pick, but that one, it was so soft. It was like, it went from really dark to really soft, and I was just like, you got me. That's what I love. I love the contrast, you know? So I'm gonna give that one to, why did I do a drum roll? It's not even like the big reveal. I'm gonna give it to Ghost of the Shadow Market. I think that overall that story was just a little bit stronger than the stories from the other two bind-ups. Question number 3 is most instrumental to the plot. So I debated putting this one on here because I know it's not really fair, since obviously they'll get a little bit more instrumental as they go along because they're now more wrapped up in other books that have been published, but I tried to judge it from a very like removed standpoint, like looking at them as like when they were published, how instrumental were they? And so I'm still going with Ghost of the Shadow Market because I think that it reveals the next villains for like the Wicked Powers. So that's kind of huge. And yeah, I mean, I just feel like it kind of, this has like almost a plot twist in it, which I don't really remember seeing in the Bane Chronicles and Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. Now, granted, I haven't read these as recently. I just finished Ghost of the Shadow Market actually a couple nights ago, but I'm pretty sure this one was like the biggest reveals. The next question is, which of these was the funniest? I think something great about all Cassandra Clare books really is that they all have a little bit of humor woven through them, but especially the bind-ups I feel like are meant to be kind of funnier. Mostly the first two, I feel like Ghost of the Shadow Market kind of had a more serious tone, but these two definitely both carried some jokes. And for me, Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy was the funniest of the three. I think it's probably because of Simon. I just love the like quirky kind of like conversational humor. Magnus is like so extra, and that's funny too, but I like this style better. Okay, and question number 5, we're at the halfway point, is most emotional. So this wasn't a hard choice for me at all because well, that's not true. I did cry at the end of Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. If you've read it, you know why. I was definitely very hurt by this, but not as much as I was by Ghost of the Shadow Market. So the point goes to this one. I cried at like 3 or 4 separate places in this. I think just because it is so deep into the world at this point, and it involves so many different characters, and it goes into the past, and then it, like, you know, hints at the future, and it was just like all so much. And so yeah, I cried, and it was just very emotional and not heavy because I read it relatively easy, but just like, I don't know. It was good. It was really good. Okay, number 6 is the most cohesive. So I kind of struggled reading the Bane Chronicles for the first time because of the big time jumps and how really the only thing tying them all together was Magnus. So I was really happy when I read Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy that there was a story running behind it of Simon being at the academy. I think that made it feel more tied together. Ghost of the Shadow Market also felt a lot more cohesive to me. I think it's probably just because it was published later and all of the author's writing has improved over time, but I'm still gonna give it to Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy because to me it just felt the most like put together and like it was all meant to be in a bind up instead of just like separate stories that were kind of like revealing little tidbits of information here and there. Question 7 is best side characters. So this one's kind of hard because there are so many characters in all of these bind ups, and it's like a lot of them are the main characters from the main series in the Shadowhunter Chronicles, so it was kind of hard to pick who I was judging as the side characters. But I ended up kind of going with Katarina and Ragnar for the Bane Chronicles, and then Simon's classmates for Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, so like Julie and Beatrice and George. And then for Ghost of the Shadow Market, I really struggled with this one because every story kind of had different side characters and a lot of them are like main characters. I'm just gonna say Lily for this one as the side character. So Lily versus the classmates versus the warlocks. And I am going with the warlocks in the Bane Chronicles. Ragnar doesn't really do anything special for me. He's funny, whatever, he's an interesting character, but mostly I have to give the point to the Bane Chronicles for Katarina because she is one of the most underrated characters. She's absolutely one of my favorites. I think she's just such like a pure soul, and she dedicates so much time, literally like her entire lifetime, which is like thousands of years, to helping people and to doing what she's good at and just serving. And I just think that's so admirable that she is just like so loving and giving after all this time. And so Katarina gets a point for this one. Question number 8 is definitely one of the most objective and pointless questions that I have on this list, and I'm not afraid to admit that, but it is prettiest cover. So I've been holding them up all through the video, but I'm just gonna give you a little show. Ooh. Oh. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Wow. Details. Okay. So they all have people on them, which isn't my favorite thing. I'm gonna say Ghost of the Shadow Market is the prettiest because it's like a zoomed out person, whereas these are like close-ups, you can really see the model's face, and I don't love that. I mean, this is pretty with like the stuff behind Magnus. It kind of reminds me of the front of Lady Midnight. I would hold that up for you right now, but I'm using it for like my tripod that I built. So yeah, I'm gonna give the point to Ghost of the Shadow Market. I just think it has more detail and I like that the person is farther back. And question number 9, I kind of devised this question just to give another point to the Bane Chronicles because I felt like it wasn't gonna do very good in this challenge even though I really enjoy it. So this question is best kiss scene, and obviously you already know I'm giving it to the Bane Chronicles for specifically the kiss in the course of true love and first dates between Magnus and Alec. Obviously, it's really good. Much passion, much love. There it is. And the last question is actually going to be one that removes a point. So kind of wanted to, you know, mix it up a little, get dangerous. So this one is the worst story. I didn't pick my least favorite in each one. I just kind of went with my gut, and that was what really happened in Peru in the Bane Chronicles. I remember the first time I read this having such a hard time getting into this book because that's the first story in here and it just didn't hold my attention. And the second time around, I got through it faster, but it still really didn't do anything for me. It's not that memorable. I don't know, it just feels a little out of place. Honestly, as I was looking through the Bane Chronicles, there were a couple different stories in there that just like don't really mean much to me. So I'm kind of okay with the fact that, yes, the Bane Chronicles is coming in last place for this tag with only 1 point. I feel a little bit sad about that, but it is what it is. It's still a really good book, and I would recommend it if you're a fan of the Shadowhunter Chronicles. Coming in second place with 3 points, I believe, is Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. As much as I love Simon, and I think this is the most cohesive story, or cohesive bind-up, and I really did enjoy it, compared to our winner, it can't be our winner. It can't. And the winner is, coming in with 4 points, Ghost of the Shadow Market. I mean, as is with most of Cassandra Clare's work, they get better as she goes along. And I just think that every time she publishes something new, I'm a little bit more sucked in. So this is the winner. Can we do a little dance? Woo! A little spin around. Ghost of the Shadow Market won this tag. Anyway, this has been the, what are the acronyms? I wrote them down. TBC versus TFTSA versus GOTSM tag. And I hope you all participate. I'm going to tag Emma Books. I know that she may not see this, but if you want to pass it on to her, I feel like it would be right up her alley. So that's my tag. But seriously, anybody who likes Shadowhunters, please do this. I want to watch your videos. I would have so much fun seeing somebody do my tag. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments which of the 3 main series is your favorite, whether it's the Infernal Devices, the Mortal Instruments, or the Dark Artifices. Let me know. Okay, bye.